Hey, this is Kamar. I'm the founder of Belvr. And today I have Eliza Snyder with me. She's my fiance, but we're going to have a nice little fun dialogue, talk about each other's stories, and kind of give you a little preview to what's up to come with different podcasts with different people and things like that. So, first, I'll let you introduce yourself, tell a little bit about yourself, and you can share with your story.
Hi, like you said, I'm Eliza. I was a Division I college athlete as well. I played basketball at Mercer. Um, I ended up having two hip surgeries that ended my career, and then along the way, I also had just a lot of life things going on. A couple people that I lost, and just different battles with my mental health and things like that. So I've definitely learned a lot throughout the years, a lot about myself. And it was definitely those hardships that have helped me come out as a better person.
Okay, that's really good. When through all that, what are some of the things that helped you keep going? Like, how did you stay believing in yourself through the hip surgeries, through the loss of people and things like that? What helped you and what helped you, stay strong and just be like, I can do it. I can graduate. I can keep playing and just keep getting through.
Um, I'll be honest, a lot of times, not a lot, there were a few times where I didn't have that belief. I didn't think that I was going to be able to for so long. Um, Basketball was not just something I did, but it was who I am. And so when I lost that, it felt like I lost a very big part of myself. And it was something that I couldn't control and didn't know how to respond to. I'd felt like I had lost my group of people, the thing I was good at, all these other things, and I didn't know what to do. So, like I said, I definitely struggled with my mental health. I've been struggling with my mental health since I was in high school. Um, go to therapy, do all the things. And so, a big thing that helped me was going to therapy and talking to my therapist about it and just being able to express all of the things that I was feeling because it is hard to do that sometimes with people who aren't in the same situation as you. And something I like to say a lot is, I'm glad that you don't understand what I'm going through, but you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think that there was a lot of learning of that it's okay to not believe in yourself all the time as long as you find something that helps you get back.
And then with that, what has helped you get back? Like whenever you have down moments or, you feel like life sucks, what helps you get back to, like it's gonna be okay, you know, life's gonna keep moving on, you're gonna still be happy and down the road, what keeps you going?
I think in order to get there first, I have to feel all the feelings. I let myself cry. I do what I have to do to get it out because it is important to feel those things. And then after that, I like to surround myself with people that I love and love me and spend time with them. I like to draw and paint. I've been getting back into exercising, doing things like that. Um, I just love being able to help people too. So I find a lot of happiness in being able to help others when I feel like I can't help myself so much.
I totally understand that. I totally understand that. Well, through everything, what does not it doesn't have to all be about sad. What is your best moment with basketball before the two hip surgeries? What's your best and most excited moment you've had with basketball?
There have definitely been a lot. That's a difficult question. I would say one of my most rewarding moments was just the first three that I made in college. It was our very first game. It was against Georgia, and I just remember like the excitement that I felt for myself, but also felt for my coaches and for my teammates and the support and all of that of like, this is what I've been working my butt off for so long to get
Mm-hmm.
to. So that was really exciting. Um, and then I would say in high school, I won Player of the Year. We won region. We made it to the state tournament, Elite Eight. Yeah.
That's good. getting to the Elite Eight and getting to, win Player of the Year, what are the feelings of that for, some people? Not everyone gets to do that. So, like, what is the feeling and excitement and enjoyment that you get from doing that and being able to, from now looking back on that, what did you learn or what did you gain from those experiences?
Just pride in myself. I was really proud of myself. I still am proud of myself. And I think that as someone who did compete at a high level, it's really easy to get very down on yourself and very critical of yourself. And like, it was almost to the point where if I didn't achieve that, then I wasn't doing enough. If I didn't win Player of the Year, if I didn't do all these things, then I wasn't good enough. I wasn't doing enough. But like in all reality, that's like an incredible achievement out of how many people are playing and how many teams are there and how many talented people are there. Mm-hmm. And so I think I just was able to find pride in myself and remind myself that, like, I was good. I was a bucket at one point.
Yep. So I know you talked about you went to therapy. What do you say to people that are scared to go to therapy or just feel like if I go to therapy, I'm weak or I'm not doing good or things like that? What do you say to those people that are struggling with things but feel like therapy is a sign of weakness and not a sign of actual strength?
Well, like you said, it's not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength, being able to say that I do need help. And even if there's no particular problem that you're feeling, even if you're not like, oh, I'm really depressed, I'm really anxious, oh, this just happened to me. If there's no specific situation, doesn't mean that you can't go. If you just need to go and have someone to talk to that doesn't have any other opinion, outside opinion in your life, then that's a perfect opportunity to do so. That's what they're there for. They provide wonderful resources, coping mechanisms, things like that. And so I went for, I want to say about 8 years.
Okay.
And so like throughout that entire time span, I wasn't like in my lowest spot the entire time. Mm-hmm. There were days where I was like, dang, I don't even feel like I need to go to this appointment. But I went anyways, and it was always just good to be able to talk. And me and my therapist built a really good relationship. And it was just something very special. And it was something that was beneficial on days when I was in a really dark spot and on days when I wasn't.
That's good. That's good. Because, everyone needs help at some point in life. Everyone goes through their own different journeys and have different things that happen in their life. So it's always good to be able to feel like you can go ask someone for help when, you're having down days. So trust me, I understand that. Been through some stuff too. So I totally understand going to therapy and getting help and talking to people and just having people be there for you. Mm-hmm. So I know you know about Belvr. Yes. You know about the brand. What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on what you've seen, or what do you want to see in the future, or just where you see Belvr's at and what do you understand like what it's actually about?
I think that it is a great place to be able to talk about things that you may not want to talk about or feel like you don't have anyone specific to talk to about. If it's just something that you need to get off your chest, if you feel like it's something that other people can relate to, like even if you are not feeling as burdened by it anymore, it could help someone else who is feeling burdened by something similar, and just creating a safe space to talk about things and, like I said, like feel things. And it's good to feel things and share things like that when you need help, because everyone needs help at some point.
That's facts. So I gotta ask you, do you have any questions for me? Want to know anything about me, or anything about Belvr, where we're taking this, or anything like that?
What are your biggest goals for Belvr in the future?
I'd say my biggest goals for Belvr in the future are to one day be able to open up like a place somewhere, like say, for example, like Avalon, like have a shop there or have a shop somewhere in Alpharetta, or doesn't matter where. Be able to have a place where you can set up podcasts, have people come and share their stories, be able to have people really interact with each other, and have a mental health coaches, and then a personal trainer and something like that. Just like a space where people can come in if they don't feel good, if they're not doing good, just be able to coach each other, be able to talk to each other, build a real community about people, that might not necessarily want to talk to their family or their friends, that just want to talk to somebody that need help. So it's not like therapy, but like, so you don't have to feel like it's therapy, but more so just to communicate with others and like really understand like this is a safe space. Whatever you say to someone in here is not going to go around. You don't necessarily have to know the person to be able to learn from somebody else. So I feel like that's the biggest thing. And then one day have an app to where people can kind of share their stories and interact with each other. Like, so if someone has one story and they feel that it resonates with them, they can contact that person and be like, hey, I saw your story. I'm kind of going through the same thing. How do I get through that? It's kind of where I see it going from here. It's just about trying to get there and keep building a safe space for, people to tell their stories.
I know that from the videos that I've seen on your social media so far, there's a lot of people that are involved in sports of some kind and have a pretty religious affiliation. Is that like mandatory to share on Belvr? Is that the main audience for it, or like who can come share their story?
So I've actually had this question from some of the people I work with creating Belvr, and I personally want to keep this broad to everybody. So if you're religious, not religious, you believe in this, you believe in that, it doesn't matter. I just want to build a real safe space for everyone to tell their stories, whether you're an athlete, not an athlete, don't do anything, do everything. It doesn't really matter who you are. I think it's key that everyone feels like they have a space that they can go to feel like this is somewhere I can go and it's going to be okay. I don't have to be an athlete. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I can just be who I am. And I feel like that's a big key because everyone always in marketing and everything always has to have like a target market or a target niche to people. I feel like this can really be something for everybody, not necessarily just someone who's religious, who's not religious, who's an athlete, who's not an athlete. I think it can be a safe space for everybody, no matter who you are, to be able to come and tell your story or share a quote that you like or just be able to just come and talk. I feel like that's my biggest dream for this, is to not make it about a certain group of people, but allow everyone to be able to come in as a whole and really just enjoy themselves and just feel like they're not alone.
So I know that you've shared your story with basketball and your foot surgeries and your back and things like that, but do you have any other situations or times in your life where you've had to really hone in on your self-belief that weren't related to sports?
Yeah, actually that's recently. I've happened to realize that basketball's professionally and doing all that is over with, most likely. I keep saying most likely, but it's over with. Playing overseas and things like that. Just trying to find a job that actually suits me and go through that. And I worked at a place, wasn't really the best scenario for me. And just knowing that, I'm going to get that job that I want. I'm going to get to where I want to be. And that's why I made Belvr. Because I feel like, if I can't believe in myself, then there's no reason of having this. But I believe myself wholeheartedly, no matter what's going on, that there is a plan to everything that happens. So I feel like that's just the scenario of being, done with like fulfilling to play basketball, going to find a way to either be involved with it or just find a job that suits me and I'm happy with and just enjoy it. And just, I know it's going to happen. It's just about the time and things like that, and things I can't necessarily control. I just can't let those things like get me down or things like that, and just try to lean on the people who care about me and just have talks with the people who care about me and just try to be as happy as possible. Kind of smile through the pain some days, but also know that smiling through the pain is okay. It's okay to smile through the pain, but at the end of the day, you do need times where, you're just not okay, and that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. But yeah, I think that's
true.
That's kind of the biggest thing right now that I'm kind of going through, just trying to figure out life.
Do you have any more questions for me?
Same question to you. What is something like other than sports, and then other than sports that you might want to share that that you've been through that has kind of shaped you, or just like just for people to know and just people to know that it's okay to get through whatever it is.
The biggest thing was probably the loss of my dad. Sorry, a little emotional. I lost him 4 years ago to frontal temporal dementia, which is like an early onset type of dementia. Most people, if they've heard of it, it's from Bruce Willis now, who's currently fighting it. But he got diagnosed when he was 47, I think, 47 or 48, and he passed when he was 49. So it was very quick. It was just a very difficult thing. And with dementia and things like that, it's also a very complicated grief journey of like you start to grieve that person before they're physically gone because, as their mind is changing from the disease, their personality and the person that they are is changing too. So I was going through that when he was sick while I was in college, my first couple of years. And that was just really difficult too, like being away from home, because it felt like when I got home to go visit, there was like huge drastic changes that I would notice. And so it just seemed like it was happening really quickly. And then he ended up passing in my sophomore year. And, then there was a whole different grieving process because he was physically gone. And that was definitely the worst, one of the worst days of my life, the most difficult. And I would definitely say that in that situation, I did not know how to go about it. I didn't know how to move on. It was not a situation that I had obviously gone through before, nothing similar to that. And again, what I said before of like my friends and family that I was talking to, well, mostly friends, like you don't understand what I'm going through, but I'm glad that you don't. Yeah. Because it's it's a hard thing to do. And I know that, a lot of people have lost their parents and loved ones and things like that. And it is a very difficult thing. And I did not know who I would be after that. I didn't know who I would be after that event, after that loss. And it was, like I said, it was one of the hardest day. It was the hardest day of my life. And at the same time, it breaks my heart. It obviously is very difficult, but I'm also thankful for the moment because it taught me strength in a way that I didn't know were possible. It showed me who I was and the strength that I do have as a person that I didn't know that I had before. And it's helped me get through so many different things and just have a different outlook on life ever since then. So yes, definitely a terrible thing, but it has definitely helped me grow as a human being, emotionally, especially. So, yes.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. I really do hate to hear that, and I'm glad that you've had people in your life to support you and help you get through that, and just help you keep pushing and knowing that at the end of the day, everything's gonna be okay. I'm happy.
Even when it's not, it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Even when you feel like it's not, it's going to be.
Yep.
And because grief is not a linear thing, and it hits you at different times and harder at times than others. So.
Yep. I definitely understand that in a different way.
Yeah.
In a different way. But yep. Any more questions for me?
I don't think so.
Well, I appreciate you hopping on the podcast. I appreciate you coming and just kind of elaborating more on what your story is and what goes on and what your life is like and what's going on and what motivates you and things like that. I truly appreciate that. And need anything, never hesitate to reach out and let me know.
Thank you.
Eliza Snyder, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Kumar Robertson, hope you have a great rest of y'all's day.
Bye.